Welcome to Built on Air, a podcast and video series about all things Airtable. Each episode, we will talk with someone active in the Airtable community to discuss their experiences and showcase an interesting way they've used Airtable in their work. We want to thank our sponsor, OpenSide. OpenSide's newest product, OntoAir Forms, is the Airtable form solution that you've been looking for. Visit openside.com to see how you can take your Airtable workflow to the next level. For a limited time, get OntoAir Forms free when you purchase the OntoAir Action Zapier connector. Finally, visit BuiltOnAir.com to sign up for the Built on Air mailing list, where you can get weekly updates on the new podcast episodes and other fun Airtable news. This week, we welcome Nat Eliason, the founder of Growth Machine. Nat was a blogger, app developer, and digital nomad for years before creating his current company. Now he uses Airtable internally to help businesses master their content strategy and develop on any subject or market segment. Nat will share his personal CRM he built to keep track of contacts in his circle and how he uses it to stay in touch with his contacts.
Well, I guess without further ado, go ahead and share your screen and we'll get a little walkthrough from you on how you built your CRM.
Basically, this is how I've got it set up. There's a couple hidden fields here for last name and email that we're going to hide for obvious reasons. But whenever I meet or talk to someone new, I basically try to hop in here and add all of their info. So few, main companies will use my friend Neil here as an example. So first name, last name, email, and then industry is really like where they work or the main thing that they're doing their work in. And so these are all tags, multiple choice tags. We've got like writing, finance, crypto, health, politics, social media, sales, right? And this just makes it really easy for me to find people in the future who work in a certain area. So to give you an example, I'm hiring for a sales rep for the first time right now. And I've never hired for a sales rep before, so I had no idea what I was doing. So I just was able to go in here and filter for everyone who works in sales. And then I basically emailed most of these people and just started asking them for advice on doing a good, designing a hiring process for sales, questions to ask, how to do compensation, all of those things. And, that made it really easy for me to design the process for an area I'd never hired for before. So then next is like interests. So basically anything we've ever talked about that I know they're interested in. And this is useful in a similar way where if I need to reach out and ask questions about something, especially anything that most of my friends are not interested in, like you'll notice there's a lot of entrepreneurship, right? It's like maybe 80% of the people have some entrepreneurship interest because that's just where my friends tend to gravitate around. But then there's other things like poker, right? Or finance, venture capital, education would be another one, real estate, right? So for a while at the beginning of this year, I was thinking of buying like my first investment property for real estate. So I could just hop in here, select all the real estate people, and then reach out to them to ask any questions about, valuing properties, whether it makes sense, evaluating markets, all of that. Next is location. Right. So just where they're based. And this is useful for pretty obvious reasons. I was in New York last week, so I just took my location filter, did it for New York, and then went through here and picked a number of people who were in New York that I wanted to try to get together with, sent them text messages. And I didn't have a ton of time. Can you see this thing that popped up?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, just there.
I didn't have a ton of time. Awesome. I didn't have a ton of time in New York, so I said, okay, well, I was literally like landing in the airport and then meeting someone 3 hours later. And so I designed a little path through Brooklyn and Manhattan to meet up with a few of these people on the way to where I had to be in Manhattan a few hours later. So it's really useful for fun stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then company. This one's, less important. I haven't used it as much. It's more useful on people who I don't talk to as much, right? Or who, maybe haven't heard from in a while if I just need to get refreshed on where they work. Because like for context, I don't have Facebook. So I don't, have that database for tracking a lot of this information. I have LinkedIn, but I don't like to use LinkedIn either. So it's just nice to hold on to this. And then the how we met is super useful because it gives me like a really good trigger for how I know someone if I'm going through here and I can't remember the context of like how I know who this person is. So these are just like really, really useful ways to remember how I know someone if I need to like reach out to them, or if they reach out to me and I'm not sure what our connection is anymore. Or if I just have any other notes, right? Like, this person, the first time, we were internet friends for a while, but the first time we met up in person was at this event called the Cookie Off, right? That's just like a good thing to hold on to because I'd probably forget that otherwise. Or this was like my old podcast that I don't have anymore, Nat Chat, right? So they were a guest on that. This guy really likes fiction, started a company importing car parts, all of that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And then basically whenever I, meet up with someone new for the first time, I just hop down here and add a new line for them with their info. And then if I hang out with somebody again and something new comes up that I didn't know, usually that I didn't know was an interest for them, I'll go back and add it in so that I've got that info in there for the future.
So how do you kind of remember or work into you're out somewhere, you chat with some people. Do you use the Airtable app on your phone to kind of update, or is it just whenever you're kind of back at home base, you update as you go?
If I remember to, yeah, I'll do it on my phone after I leave. I probably forget 75% of the time, so I'll end up doing it later when I get back home.
Yeah. No, this is great. It's actually kind of amazing based on how completely simple it is, like how much more useful it is, right? Than just like any sort of typical CRM, software that you might come across. Because like you said, company, right? Or whatever, like isn't necessarily all that important. It's those like personal things like, oh, they have previous experience in this industry, or, they're into, poker, right? Like I want to learn poker, or, those types of things that you could really only track if you had, the customization abilities to kind of build it out yourself. I love how
I tried.
You tried another app.
Well, I tried a bunch of software that was built to be a CRM, like even for a personal CRM, and none of it honestly felt that intuitive or useful. In most cases, they were too heavy. There was just too much going on for it to be something quick and lightweight. And I found that the more steps I had to go through to use it, the less likely I was to use it. And this has the big benefit of being super simple and easy to go in and update and refer back to. And I think that's why this one has stuck, unlike other CRM solutions.
Right. Yeah. It's a bit of a Goldilocks in between, not being detailed enough. And then, you having to like be prompted to update every conversation you have with that human or whatever. So tell us a little bit more about where our listeners can go to check out your work, check out Growth Machine, and learn more about you.
Yeah. So if you're interested in the content marketing SEO side, Growth Machine is just growthmachine.com. I've got a number of blog articles and resources there. And if you're more interested in the productivity, everything related to the CRM and whatnot, that's on my personal blog, which is just nateliason.com. So NATELIASON.com. And I'm at Nat Eliason on Twitter too, if you want to reach out there. That's the only social media I have left really, and where I'm most responsive. So you can definitely reach out to me there.
Awesome. Yeah. Got to pare down that social media, like distractions for sure. Cool.
I just don't trust Facebook very much too.
Yeah, so. I understand that, right? They already got enough of your data if you used to have a profile. Yeah. Yep. So, okay, cool. We'll link all of that stuff in the show notes so our users can check out your Airtable stuff, Growth Machine stuff, and all of the other little bits and pieces you have on your blog. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us and give us a little bit of an overview about Nat and Growth Machine and Goldilocks super simple CRMs. And good luck with all of your hiring that you're doing.
Thanks. Yeah, this is fun. We'll talk more soon.
See you, Nat.